Let's go.
Welcome to The Integrative Edge, your go-to podcast for fresh perspectives on holistic health and functional movement. Join us as we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably.
I'm Kelly Demers, founder of the Integrative Wellness Coalition and the owner of True North Performance.
I'm Lindsay Seefeld, doctor of physical therapy and owner and operator of Uplifted Oncology Rehab.
I'm Dr. Kimberly Klimek, licensed pharmacist and owner of Innate Healing and Performance.
You can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Welcome back to The Integrative Edge, the podcast where we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably. I'm your host, Kelly Demers, and as always, joined by my two incredible co-hosts, Dr. Lindsay Seefeld and Dr. Kim Klimek. Today's topic is one that might surprise you. It could completely change the way you think about daily self-care, and that is the hidden impact of an ill-fitting bra on your breast health, on your posture, on your lymphatic function, and your overall vitality. What you wear every day matters more than you think. So let's dive in. Dr. Lindsay, I'm going to throw this one over to you. When we talked about this topic originally, I was surprised. I don't think I've ever thought about, but outside of comfort and, how it looks, have I thought more about, what goes into purchasing a bra.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this topic because I'm telling you, this is the number one thing. So when I have a woman coming to me with any type of breast concerns, cysts, heaviness, fullness, inflammation, the first question I ask is, what kind of bra are you wearing? 85% of us are in the wrong fitting bra. So I really want you guys to flash me right now.
I kind of want to, just to get your feedback.
But it's true. And I have a theory. This is my theory. So I think women treat their breasts like they treat their feet. And what that means is, when we go through puberty, when we get really, really tall, we have the same foot size, right? Our feet never change, right? And I feel that, when women develop in their young years, that is the size that they always stick with. I feel like you pick a size when you're in your adolescence and this is like my feet.
I never thought of it like
this
that.
is like my feet. This is my bra size. But guess what? If you're the same size you were in high school, kudos to you, because I sure am not. But we change. but we change, you think of all the changes women go through, from adolescence to, older adulthood, our boobs change, seriously. We go, our weight fluctuates. We have children. I have 4, so my boobs are definitely not like they used to be. And it's 2 hormones. Hormones will change the breast tissue as well. And, the skin integrity, everything kind of stretches out as we get a little bit older. So our boobs are not like one size fits all. It's not the same size as when you were younger. And so you need to treat your breasts like that throughout your whole life. You really need to be fitted appropriately throughout your life. And the one thing I always say is, to determine if you're in the right bra is, look at yourself in the mirror. So take your bra off, go stand in a mirror. If you see any type of redness or indentation, that is a guarantee that you're in the wrong fitting bra. And, you can tell by comfort wise too, is it cutting in? Is it creeping up? Is my fat bulging out the back? I can guarantee if I ask you, are you in the right fitting bra? You would tell me, okay, no, I'm not. But it is absolutely vital that you're in the right fitting bra because there is so much health and vitality and beauty in our breast tissue. And we have to have, appropriate nutrients and, the blood flow, the lymphatic flow naturally flows in our breast tissue. And if we're restricting it, we're not allowing that normal pattern to happen. And if you've listened to our previous episode about lymphatic health, we know that we have to have muscle contraction or massage to move the lymphatic fluid. Well, last I checked, my boobs are not made of muscle. They're flab. And, God made us to wiggle and jiggle and bounce. We have to have that movement in our breast tissue for the fluid to get out. And if we are not jiggling, things are staying stuck in our breast tissue. And that's where we're going to start seeing, cysts start building up. We're going to see density in our breast tissue and just pain and fullness.
So when we get into, you had said 85% of us are in the wrong fitting bra. And I will tell you, I go in, I look for a bra that, is this going to show through my shirt? Is this, I'm looking for comfort. What squishes out and where?
We're looking for
does it look like in a t-shirt? Yeah, right. You're looking for what does it look like in a t-shirt? So, what should we be looking for? Outside of
okay. Number one, absolutely, positively, no more wires. You should not be in a wired bra.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
done.
No wires for me.
Okay, no wired bras.
I agree.
And, the other thing is that restriction. So I'm telling women to sports bras. Okay, sports bras are meant for sports, not for all day wear. Okay, because sports bras are very restrictive, right?
I love this. I love that you're saying this because I feel that even with sports bras, and I'm like,
yep.
Due to having my own home gym, there'll be times where if I'm just kind of lifting, I don't even wear a bra. I'm just I'm just going to put my sweatshirt on and I'll just go down there and do my arms. Cause it's, if it's been on too long for the day or something, I'm I'm just in the comfort of my home. I don't care.
I just had a gal in yesterday and, she said, that was my first question. She's coming in for breast health. And I said, okay, you are not wearing wired bras? She says, nope, I'm not. And I said, awesome. I said, what kind of bra do you wear all the time? Sports bras. I'm like, oh, that's really restrictive. And so, I had her take her bra off. There's a major red indentation all throughout the whole trunk of her body. And, it just dawned on her oh my gosh, you're right. Here I thought I was doing good by just not wearing a wired bra, but just wearing a sports bra. But that's what sports bras do. They help restrict those girls so that you can do those things. And so, okay, what kind of things should I wear is, when you're shopping for bras, you really want to make sure things are nice and wide. I like a wider strap on the top because that puts even pressure on our shoulders. We definitely want a wider trunk, so kind of from the armpit down the side, we want it fairly wide. And then also wide in the back. And so, and comfort, when you put it on, you should feel pretty instantly okay, this feels really nice and supportive. I don't feel anything cutting in. So I think, and it's not one size fits all. I think you've got to try, you do have to do your due diligence and kind of try on multiple different bras and just see what looks and feels the best on you.
And is this a little accurate too? I kind of think the way I've transitioned to thinking about bras was I kind of want my bra to feel like it's not really there.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
It's there, but it's not really there. It's I'm not thinking about it all day. Whereas that's how I was in high school. We all had these Victoria's Secret bras and
push it
every day. Oh, they had the push up bras
coming out.
It was
your neck.
I hated that because every day I would literally just go home and it was yep, I'd have that big old mark and I'm why do we have to wear bras? I would tell my mom.
Yes. You want to have a bra that you don't even think about it throughout the day. You want it very comfortable.
What about the women that are, that have bigger chests that are saying, I need this for support because
Okay.
I need it.
Yep. So this is totally me. My struggle, I'm a little bustier, right? I wear a size D cup, and that was my issue. So I'm I gotta do what I preach. I'm getting rid of these wired bras. And so I, went to traditional Kohl's, Target, what have you, and I'm trying all these bras on. They're comfortable, but then over time, they're either riding up my boobs. They're just not fitting. I feel I had a uniboob kind of thing going on where it's I don't feel like I'm, separating the girls at all. And so I just by fate, I came across, it's called Evelyn and Bobby, and I'll put this in the show notes. This is meant for bustier women. And so this company is online, and, they really, the founder of Evelyn and Bobby came up with this patent idea to really create a lift for the bigger chested women, but also have the wireless option. And so I'm wearing one right now today, and it really mimics my rib cage. So it comes down a little bit lower, so it supports me lower, but then it has very nice wide straps, wide on the sides. So I feel like I'm not wearing anything. And it also has kind of separated cups too. So I feel like I'm not having a uniboob. And the other thing that really sold me on them is toxicity. So, everything we put on our body absorbs. And so this bra is really amazing that it does not have any toxic type fabric in it. So I know comfort, it's great for comfort, but I know I'm putting a good quality bra on that is not like absorbing toxins and stuff. So Evelyn and Bobby, if you're heavy or busted like I am, I'm telling you, this is a game changer for your boobs.
What about for those that are on the opposite end of the spectrum?
So opposite, yep. Another gal too, like I have nothing there. Well, obviously nothing is best. So if you can get by without wearing anything, but something as light as like a little cami or, something a little bit light. I know Soma is another place that a lot of women will go and shop. And I'm telling you, I love their bras too. And I know they do a really good job at fitting women there too. So I feel like there's lots of options in there.
What about there is like cakes and the silicone covers and those types of things that people just wear under their shirts? Thoughts on
like
those?
the little pasties?
The little pasties. I mean, I think those are meant for more of like probably with the outfit you're going with, which is perfectly fine. If I wouldn't be able to wear those because those girls wouldn't be happy. But I mean, if that's something,
I have utilized that.
Yeah. So I think women kind of probably pick those more for the type of outfit and making sure that their bra is not showing kind of thing. But
relative to breast health, though, there's no concerns there.
I have not tissue wise. No.
I like that you touched kind of on that. Like there's, the microplastics can come from our clothing and things like that. So there's definitely a big movement in kind of like the functional space to try to get like clean clothing even now too. Sometimes that kind of is, I would say, on the back burner, like a last resort for people to start kind of cleaning up in their environment. But it's definitely something I've thought about. And yeah, I'm on the opposite spectrum. I'm in the IBTCs category. So I don't, like, there'll be times where I don't really wear a bra, or I wear packed. That's my favorite one. They're like little,
I just talked about
really
that.
awesome.
They're like little
packed.
camis, essentially. Yep. They're cotton, and I absolutely love them. I have their underwear too. Fantastic company.
PACT.
Yeah, PACT.
For those who are questioning.
Yeah, and it's like organic cotton, so I love it. And it's basically like less is more, essentially. Like that's what I kind of like about the company. But yeah, just kind of letting them be free as best they can.
Yeah.
Well, and so many of these brands are coming up with anti-sweat, anti-stink, anti-whatever, and every time you hear that, think to yourself, that is another chemical that I'm putting on my body, because they are. And then you think about that, not only are you wearing it, but now you're heating your body up, your pores are all opening,
and it's seeping in you. So it does
sure.
really matter what kind of fabric you're putting on your body, for sure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about like what are you seeing in terms of like your clinic and with your clients, and like where maybe some of like, how bra health can be related to their breast health.
Oh, tremendously. So the reason why it's so important is when we talk about that restriction, even the little bit of restriction can really slow down or stop the flow of our lymphatic fluid. And so our fluid eventually, if we've got a lot of restriction, okay, we're tight and things are building up. So we're talking, our lymphatic system is not able to pull out the toxicity, it's not able to support the natural healthy, nutrients pulling in, taking out, our hormone imbalance in our breast tissue. So it really slows things down. And then over time, if we're constantly wearing something that is restrictive, we're going to build up that toxicity in our breast tissue. And what I see on the outside, or what people will talk about, is cysts. Cysts are very, I get so fired up when I hear, women coming to me like, my doctor says I have lots of cysts in my breast, but that's normal. Like that's absolutely normal. No, cysts in your breast tissue are telling us that your body cannot eliminate the fluid. So we have to figure out a way to get those cysts drained. And density too. I'm starting to see women with, like, we call it fibrocystic dense tissue. And so you actually can palpate it. It feels really hard to the touch. And then what happens is, because that fluid is so stagnant in there, the tissue can't cleanse and heal. So we build up, like it's like a thickness that happens in your breast tissue. And so that too is not normal. Pain, just like people will feel like, oh, I'm full, I'm puffy. It's just really, really tender. Our armpits too, looking at our armpits, are we puffy in our armpits? Because our pit should be like a pit, not a puffy, puffy. And so, we've got to figure out a way to get that cleared. And I'm telling you, the number one thing we've got to do is try to get you into a different bra, because that could really be impeding that natural lymphatic flow.
And I would imagine that leads to broader health challenges, right? If you've got a stagnant lymphatic system,
Yes.
now my immune system is compromised.
Yes.
Some other downstream
Well, and
effects.
1 in 8 women develop breast cancer in their life. And, not saying that the cyst is going to be causing the breast cancer, but we're creating an environment that is conducive for developing breast cancer. Cancer loves stagnant, crappy environment, right? And so if we're not cleaning out our breast tissue like it should, hey, we're developing a really great environment for cancer to develop.
Mm-hmm. And we think about, we're always talking about listen to those little signs and signals that your body gives you. Because we're talking to, I get referrals from you and from, our friend who does the thermography. And, sometimes there's red markers that come back in that area. And you're looking for those issues in your breast tissue can indicate some signs of more estrogen dominance throughout the body, which again, but that's just really surface level things. I mean, if you're already experiencing breast tenderness before your menstrual cycles, that's a red flag. And then you're starting to get the reports of the cysts or dense breasts or fibrocystic breasts. Please understand that those are literally signs and signals that your body is giving you that you need to do something about it now. The first and foremost thing, basically working on your lymphatic drainage.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, don't take this the wrong way, Lindsay, but I literally went to see Lindsay for myself because I was like, I do wear the good bras now and I've worked a lot on hormone balance. So no more with endometriosis history. It was oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah. In high school you go and I think I've said this a million times, but it's we used to literally joke in high school and just be like, oh, we know when our periods are coming because our breasts would hurt really bad and they're so tender. And I realized that's a really bad sign of hormone balance. Now I know that as I'm older, but worked on all those things a little bit. And then I was still kind of seeing some of that, what you would say puffiness kind of in the armpit area. So I'm like, okay, I need to get this looked at. And I do thermography and everything now too. And then I went to see Dr. Lindsay and she showed me how to do the manual drainage. And like I said, don't take it the wrong way, but I have your little pamphlet in my shower and I have my little I have my gua sha stone and I'm every time I go in the shower I'm kind of thinking about you, Lindsay. I'm do your little drainage and I'm
that was such a brilliant idea to laminate it.
Yes, and actually I had a patient, I have a a list of how to perform the self-breast lymphatic drainage, and a patient actually told me you should laminate this so I can put it in my shower. So I took that away.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so if you're wondering, well, how do I get this, Lindsay? If you go to my website, I'll make sure I put this in the show notes. I have a free video that describes how to perform a self-breast lymphatic drainage massage. So if you're listening to this, you need to watch it. You need to share this podcast with all your women friends because every woman should know how to do this because, as I had mentioned, we don't have muscles in our boobs to move the lymphatic fluid. So we have to, have them bounce. Or we have to massage them. So that's what we need to do to help propel that fluid out of our breast tissue. So
and it takes 5 minutes. You're in the shower and I just do it as a regular thing in my routine kind of now. And I just love it. And I'm knowing that it's just a small component of something that I can have a little control over, knowing that I'm working on prevention of something.
Yeah.
And I have breast cancer on both sides of my family.
Yeah.
So it's something that's really important for me to be preventative about.
Yeah. And I will say you can make things change. I have seen time and time again, women developing healthier breast tissue. This does not have to stay like this. We can actually get rid of the cyst. We can actually decrease the density. I think my most successful patient, I can think of her, she had the fullest breast tissue I've ever felt, really, really dense, cysts all over her breast tissue. We changed out her bra because she was wearing an incorrect bra, and we started working on lymphatic drainage, and she was doing all her self stuff. Well, she just messaged me probably a couple weeks ago. She says, Lindsay, you'll never believe this. Okay, I went in for my screening, my breast screening. The tech that did my screening had to make a note in my chart because the doctor would not believe that this is the same breast tissue. That is how profound your body can heal itself, people. And
yes.
I'm telling you, by doing simple things like these little things, like changing your bra, doing lymphatic drainage, and not to mention there's other things you need to do to increase your breast health, like toxicity, gut health, other movement type strategies. So, these are just the tipping points of what you need to work on to help create a better breast. But guess what? Your breast can heal itself. So this does not have to stay like this.
It is wild for me to think about something as simple and as daily as wearing the wrong bra can actually trigger systemic issues in the body. It's wild. The small things we normalize do really add up. Can you talk to kind of the biomechanical relationship between the breast tissue, the rib cage, you had hit on it earlier, and like shoulder mobility when you've got an ill-fitting bra?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like our girls are heavy. Some of us have heavy girls and, we tend to, it'll pull us forward, right? So over time, if you're not having a right fitting bra, it can pull us, our shoulders will come more forward, we'll be more hunchbacked. And, we'll collapse the rib cage down. So having the right fitting bra where you're kind of pulling your body up, it just helps open up the whole shoulder and, it just limits that amount of pressure on the rib cage as well. And two, well, it's body mechanics. When you have correct posture, you're able to move your shoulders more freely, move your body more freely. So yeah, when you're wearing something that is really restrictive, you are getting into that posturing where it's more flexed forward. So having that really good support where it's pulling those shoulders back is absolutely perfect. We need to have that.
Like as we get older, I don't know about you ladies, but I'm really more about comfort than I am about that super tight fitting outfit.
For sure.
Like I just want to be comfy wherever I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. And I will say too, women are like, oh, I've got to wear those. They're not, some of them are not that pretty,
They're
but
ugly.
You know what? you can still have those sexy things and put them on, for your partner or spouse.
Oh my gosh. That was like telling the husband, I'm like, sorry, you just get the cotton and my bras now.
Snap to the back or whatever.
Yeah. My husband too is like, oh, what are you buying, Lindsay? Like, these aren't really great. And I said, you know what? I'm about comfort. I had 4 kids. I want comfort, people. And you know what? I'll put those sexy things on for you another time.
Right, right. Yeah, we can utilize those sometimes.
But we've touched on this a little bit, kind of all, in bits and pieces. I want to kind of put it in a circle here. Are there specific signs that women should watch for to indicate that their bra might be negatively impacting their lymph nodes or their tissue?
Yeah, I think, number one is look at the redness,
Sure, after the day.
After the day. Yeah. Take the bra off, look in the mirror. I feel like that's number one. You've got to see if there's any type of redness, and that is definitely indication that you're not wearing the right bra. But when you're starting to see signs of puffiness in your armpit, you're starting to feel like puffiness near your breast tissue or tenderness or even thickness going on, that is definitely indication that, okay, we've got some stagnicity in here that we need to clear the heck out.
And I've used that to kind of translate too with the lymphatic system in general, because you can there was noticeably times where I had more puffiness in my face. I'm like, oh, yep, the lymph system is kind of backed up right now, or cortisol is a little bit high right now as I tend to get more puffy in the face. But I've totally noticed the one where when I started kind of doing the drainage more around the breast tissue, the improvements that I could see in just the puffiness area. And it wasn't always that pit. Sometimes the one you were talking about was more along,
right along the side there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was, I could see the changes start to happen the more and more I was doing the breast drainage in the shower.
Yeah.
What about people that say, and I'm not talking the super compressive sports bras here, but the ones that are maybe a little bit less compressive, light compression, that say that's more comfortable than a regular bra for everyday wear?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same thing. Whether you just have to look at your skin. I think your skin will tell you if it's too tight, because that there's always that little red band that is, if it's wrapping around your whole body, you're restricting something. So I think that's number one to really look at when you're taking that bra off.
There was, at one point, I read something that if you want to keep them in place, gravity not taking over so much, that you should actually sleep in a sports bra.
Oh.
So, the things we learn.
I will say, thank you for bringing that up because
sleeping in it.
The number one,
I get home, so I can't imagine sleeping in it.
The number one thing too that I also talk about is no one should ever sleep in your bra, period. You have to let those girls run free. This is where, when we're sleeping, that's when our body is healing and cleansing and doing all the things and repairing damaged cells. If those babies are restricted all night, we're not repairing or cleansing anything in our boobs. So we need to, absolutely no bras whatsoever when you're sleeping, period.
So it's interesting because support and restriction in my mind were kind of the same, like I put those together, but we're learning it's not.
No.
Support does not.
It's not,
restriction.
correct.
So
yes.
Awesome. Things that you would take away if you had to give somebody one thing to take away. My takeaway is, okay, I should probably go get professionally fitted. Before I throw it for one takeaway, where would you go? You had mentioned
Soma, myself too. Like if you need help, just make an appointment, just pop in. I'd be happy to just measure for, a fitting bra. The nice thing about these wireless bras, it's super easy to do yourself because I think most of them just require like a bust measurement. So, taking a tape measure and going around your breast tissue and then right underneath your breast. So most of the ones I think are pretty easy to fit yourself. So if you just go into, Kohl's, Target, what have you, most of them, kind of come medium, large, like it's not like a regular cup type size.
When the cups, you got space in there, or like, how do you get around that? They're saying, this is why I go to the sports bra because I've got weird gaps.
Yeah. I think we're getting away from that with the wireless type option because it's not, they're just made a little bit differently. I feel like it's almost like a sports bra, but it's different.
Softer.
Yeah, it's just a little softer. So,
and look, the cotton ones, like I said, that's always kind of been an issue for me. It was like, okay, wear a bra and then I have all the gaps because my boobs don't fill it out. So it's just having just like the little cotton ones or just the cami kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Smaller bust, I would say.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think, the biggest takeaway is, definitely you need to get if you're wearing wired bras, you're getting away from wired bras from now on. Right. And you need to get fitted. You need to get in the right fitting bra. And then definitely for your breast health, you need to start performing that lymphatic drainage. That is going to, help propel that fluid out of there to get it healthier.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's just kind of like comfort over fashion and just knowing that like that comfort kind of matters a little bit more for our overall breast health and like ability for lymphatic drainage.
For sure. Your breast health is part of your whole body health is what we've learned today. Small daily choices like choosing the right fit are part of your greater healing story. If today was a valuable episode for you, please share it with your friends. We received so many positive comments on our episodes from people that we know. They reach out via email or text, and we share those amongst the three of us. But if you could just please leave a review on Spotify. You can, if you go into the show notes, the comment section, click and leave us a review. That would be greatly appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next time.